Author, investigative journalist, award-winning television news producer, and tireless supporter of community charities, Jenna Jackson has brought attention to stories that have had a huge effect on our world.
Through hard work and talent, Jenna Jackson has made of herself one of the most accomplished journalists, print or electronic, of her generation. The record clearly shows that, and it's widely acknowledged, not just by me, but by many of her peers. She's an exceptionally hard-charging, deep-digging reporter who specializes in the kind of hard-to-prove, hard-to-bring to screen investigative reports that are so important to our democracy.
Well respected for her work at CBS News, Jackson's journalism career started at Sam Houston State, where she earned a Bachelor of Science degree with a double major in journalism and political science. She served as editor of the Houstonian student newspaper while working as a criminal justice reporter for the Huntsville Item.
I had written a letter to Dan Rather, who I had recently found out attended Sam Houston, and he's clearly Sam's biggest, most well-known alumni. And I was in the journalism program in the Houstonian office, and I had written a letter asking him to donate a book for a journalism auction we were having. And a few days later, I got back a handwritten 4-page letter from Dan Rather, CBS stationery, and it was sort of, a turning point in my life too, I guess, because I started getting to know Dan, and he was a huge mentor for me and really guided me along my entire career and still does to this day. But that day, sitting in the Houstonian office, opening that mail from CBS News in New York was like the highlight of my day, and it's still one of my best memories.
Upon graduation, Jackson worked briefly as a newspaper reporter in Texas before heading to New York City to interview for an entry-level position at CBS News.
I got Jenna an interview at CBS News. Now, that doesn't get you very far if you can't deliver. One of the things they did then, and I think still do at CBS News, is they give you a writing test. Jenna took the writing test, and she scored, I was told at the time, the highest on the CBS News writing test of anybody since the legendary Charles Kuralt. Well, I have to tell you that she was hired almost immediately at a low-level job, and then proceeded to slog her way through really determined hard work all the way up to the very top of not just the CBS News journalistic pyramid, but the whole journalistic pyramid in New York. Now stop and think about it, how far it is from Huntsville, back behind what we call the Pine Tree Curtain, to the absolute top, the apex in New York. Tells you a lot, not only about Jenna's talent, creativity, hard work, but also a great deal about her determination and her resilience.
My first job at CBS was $18,000 a year, living with 5 girls in a 1-room apartment. It motivated me because I really wanted to travel and be out of that and into a hotel room on my own. But I think that decision to move to New York really was a turning point. It kind of started everything off.
Jackson quickly moved up and was named a producer for CBS's hit program, 48 Hours. During her 14 years with CBS, she worked on hundreds of compelling stories, such as Perfectly Executed, which would later become the title of a book she co-authored along with correspondent Peter Van Sant on their experience covering this brutal murder. She went on to receive several prestigious media awards, including an Emmy in 2012 for Grave Injustice about Anthony Graves. Graves was sentenced to death in 1992 for a crime he did not commit, and was exonerated and released from prison in 2010. While still working on shows with broadcasters such as Katie Couric, Jackson returned to Texas in 2011 and founded P&R Productions, producing documentaries, films, and commercials, many on behalf of community charitable organizations on which she volunteers.
She has this incredible sense of justice, and so she uses that to her advantage, and she finds stories that help the world, and she doesn't waste her time on things that are frivolous or things that are, if Jenna is excited about a story, it's because it's a life-changing, world-changing story.
I think the one thing that I always tell people is that if you are blessed enough to find something that you love, especially early on like I did, I found it at Sam Houston in the journalism program. If you're blessed enough to find something that you love and can be passionate about and you work hard at it, you will be successful. Don't worry about how much money you're gonna make. Don't worry about what's gonna come of it. You just, go out there and do what you love and you're gonna be amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please recognize Jenna Jackson as the 2013 Outstanding Young Alumnus.